Jarred is sponsored by 5thegamer, so for all of your headset needs, go to 5thegamer.com and use discount code JARRED20 at checkout to receive 10% off your next order. Jarred is also partnered with XTiffy, so for all of your GTA resources, go check out xtiffy.com, that's XTIFFI.com. We do have our own website complete with a full episode catalog, merch, and more information about each of our cast members, so you can find that at jarredpodcast.com. We are also on Patreon, so to become a patron, go to patreon.com/jarredpodcast.
I'm here.
See, I was ready. I was prepped this time. One of the rare occasions I actually am.
Is Dougie good?
Yep, I'm good.
Yeah, then we're all in.
Hello,
We're
everyone,
here.
and welcome back to Jarred.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Sounds so angelic.
We do. We do, for once.
Okay. So what's up?
I thought you were going to have like something really to go into. Just like,
I thought you were just going to go into it with the intro.
I thought she was going to be like a whole monologue or something, but nah, just like,
No, I do have something I'll mention. I didn't. If there's anything you guys have before I talk about what I'm going to talk about.
I hate to say it, but I got nothing. I generally
Surprise.
Yeah, lockdown and all. Like, there's literally nothing for me to have up. So,
Do you like what I've done here?
I do.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I
It's
love it.
so cool. The shirt, the hat, I can see the frame. Is the book How to Live with a Huge Penis? Is that what that is? Is that the title? Yeah, I thought I could read it.
Yeah. And the puppetry one's right next to it.
Oh my god, that was last year's, wasn't it? Oh man. Yeah, it's a shame that you can't see mine because I've got mine all set up like above, which sucks that I can't have it behind. But yeah, I got mine all up there as well.
You can't really see it, but the bird is wearing the handcuffs on his feet.
Oh
my god.
See the bird.
That is brilliant. Oh, that is brilliant. I might do the same.
No,
That's so
I've got
funny.
nothing. The only thing that I really exciting happened was I did test the limits of my marriage. I have a feeling that if me and Alan were to ever divorce, it would be because of cups.
Cups.
So
I can see that. I totally get that.
Cups.
Yeah.
Like,
So I called him and I was like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how mad will you be if I bring home a coffee mug?
Oh god.
And
I'd get
he
divorced
said-
too.
He said, I would probably be at about a 6. And I said, that's great. I'm bringing home 3. So,
question. What's wrong with a coffee cup?
We have too many.
yeah, I have that problem in my house, but I also
Right.
can't stop buying them.
Right, I thought you meant in the
Same.
sense
This
that
is-
you didn't have any, and if you brought one home, it would be an issue. Not that you already have enough. Right? Okay, I get that logic.
Nope.
I get that. Okay, I get that one.
Nope, there's
We're
so
on the
many.
same exact wavelength. Charles is the same. I'm like, I can't stop. I literally cannot stop.
Well, you literally for Christmas, obviously, you got us all the jarred mug, obviously with with the bio and whatever. When literally just a few weeks later, this one, and then literally just a few weeks later, I bought our own one off of the website anyway. So just because coffee cups.
And see, I purposely keep mine here at my desk at Jess's house because I was scared to bring it into my house.
Gotcha.
Because I already knew the precedents, what might happen. So the fact that I just brought home 3 at once, I really thought shit was going to go down. It didn't. So I feel like my marriage is stronger than ever.
Who knew that was the... I forgot the word.
See, one of my toxic traits is buying mugs and then not using them because, like, I see, like, really cute mugs that I want, and so I get them, but they're not even the size that I usually use. Like, I usually drink out of, like, a huge mug, like, humongous, not like a regular size coffee mug. I have, like, 5 or 6 huge mugs that I cycle out during the week, and I never, ever use one of the regular size mugs unless, like, my big ones are in the dishwasher or something, which is rare that I don't have at least one clean. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the most exciting thing that's happened to me this week. You know, other than Mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Well, oh yeah, happy birthday, Jeanette. I did see that.
I love
Happy
the
birthday,
photo.
Jeanette.
Yeah, but I love the photo you put up, Amber. I love the photo you put up on Facebook.
Oh,
The double glasses.
She hated it.
I think it's
she
brilliant.
was so angry.
I think it's
She
brilliant.
was so angry. But and she has 2 sets of the reading glasses because one is for seeing things up close and the other one is for seeing things far away. And her logic is, I don't know what I'm going to be looking at, so I may as well be prepared.
Yeah, have them both on at the same time. You can't argue with the logic. It just makes for a brilliant photo.
I can't. She's so cute. But yeah, she was very upset about that one. But she gets over it. She's learned to put up with my shit after so long.
Brilliant.
Well, I hope our listeners are appreciating my shirt today because this, fellas, came straight from the Jarred website and it's very comfy and it feels very nice and very soft and it looks great. It's a little, I think I got a small, but it's a little looser than I wanted it to be. That's just my inner hoe coming out, no big deal. So, and we did get a request by someone who saw these shirts. They said that they would like a shirt that says "Free Britney, bitch," and I'm like, that's a good idea.
That's a brilliant idea.
I'll be dripping some stuff out throughout this week with different products. I already put a shirt up on the website.
Yeah, which was a
bitch,
good suggestion, by the way, because it
Very
looks good.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't think of that before. It's so funny and clever.
It makes
but,
sense.
We love
Yeah.
suggestions like that. Please keep them coming if you got them.
Yes, please,
do.
please. On the topic of Britney, I feel like every episode now, it's like, let me just add on to the Britney thing, you guys, because it's like
it is
just
an ongoing
never
trend.
ending.
Yeah.
It's its own news cycle. Like it's just, but yeah, just to add on, something else that happened this week. There is a article from September 2007 that has begun recirculating. It was by, let's see, I think CBS News, and the headline is, Amber, you're gonna like this one, I feel like. Timbaland wants an apology from Britney Spears.
Who?
Exactly.
Timbaland. He did all the big, like, he was really
Yeah.
doing, like, the big collaborative music stuff and, like, the early, mid-2000s.
I remember. I just think it's funny that I don't find him all that relevant now as I do Britney. So,
What's interesting is the date of this article is September of 2007. So it was right after the VMAs performance, but just about a month before Blackout came out. So I'm going to just gloss over some of this article because I thought it was just honestly laughable. Timbaland told MTV News that Britney could have greatly benefited from a collaboration with Justin Timberlake, who was named MTV's Male Artist of the Year at last weekend's VMAs. It was close to happening, but her ego got in the way, Timbaland said. Quote, she should humbly humble herself and make a phone call and say, I'm sorry. That's it. She knows what she's sorry about, too. He also said, Britney needs a hit.
Is it a music hit?
he said Britney needs a hit, and he is the producer to do it, but not until she is willing to take his advice. He said, quote, she got so big-headed and was like, screw you, I don't need nobody.
Because she don't.
Right.
So the music...
Now, after her dismal VMA performance, he says she needs to prove herself. He said, quote, she needs a story. She has no comeback story. That's the problem. She has to have a team.
What?
Who is
okay?
this man?
Is he okay?
Apparently not.
I mean, I know a lot of people were, he's just one of the many at that time who were dogging Britney after the VMAs. I mean, most notably Perez Hilton. He's scum. But, like,
So
that
scum.
Performance brought out more ugly from people than it did, like,
Compassion.
empathy or concern.
Yeah.
I thought that, I had never seen that article before. I thought it was very interesting. I'm like, is he for real? Like, he's mad that she didn't necessarily want to collaborate with her ex, who had been smearing her and capitalizing off of their breakup for years.
Obviously.
And on top of that, she needs to apologize after...
Men are absolute garbage. Garbage. Just hot, simmering, on fire garbage. All of them. I don't care, Ryan. I mean you too.
Sorry, Doug. I was trying to defend us here. I was trying to get us out of that one, but apparently not.
I'll just given up fight.
I just wanted to break this article down a little bit. I wanted to get into him claiming that at that time she needed a hit. Britney needed a hit at that time, like I Need More Makeup, which is not at all. Okay?
Yeah.
Because, like I said, a month, maybe less than a month after this interview came out, that's when Blackout came out, and that was one of her probably most critically lauded albums. Like, I thought, I didn't know it at the time, but that was one of the best that she had come out with up until that point. I looked on its Wikipedia too to verify this information because I was incensed about this interview. It has been cited as a career highlight for Britney Spears, as well as a major influence on the 2000s or 2010s decade of pop music. It has been featured on multiple decade-end, 21st century, and all-time lists of best albums by several publications. So yeah, Britney needed a hit, but she came out with the album of hits a couple weeks after that. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys about that. I've been saving that all week because it pisses me off.
Men are hot, flaming garbage.
If you want to keep up with our Free Britney story, we've got episode 2 of our Patreon that you can check out if you're not already. So that keeps up with the
Yeah, but
full
it's all
story.
old news. So
True, yeah, a lot of it is...
I'm telling you, it's something new every week now.
Obviously, because we've all got access to the Twitter on my tablet every now and again, like when I'm sat here, like mainly when I'm editing, I've got my tablet set up as well, so I can do other things at the same time, and I'll always get a notification come through from our Twitter, and I know this one's from our Jarred one in particular because it always comes up with the hashtag.
It's always Britney.
Free Britney. It's every single notification I get from Twitter now. It's Free Britney, and I'm just going.
Oh yeah, I see that one too.
Every day I
That's
get
changed.
Britney Twitter notes on my phone.
Just constantly. So yeah, the episode 2 of our Patreon is slowly becoming very irrelevant.
It's becoming obsolete. We may have to do a part 3 eventually. Ooh. Oh, we could do a part 3 when she's finally freed.
Well, obviously we've got to see it through.
Oh yeah, we got to keep updated.
Yeah.
Well, it's Amber's turn today.
It is.
I know what she's doing, and I'm very excited.
It is Amber's turn.
Yeah, the clue you gave us was something to do with the ocean or something within.
Close.
Close.
Okay, so first I have to give a little backstory on why this is pretty important to me. I have been in love with mermaids for almost as long as I can remember. Back in the day, of course, way before Ryan's time,
Hi.
I was watching The Little Mermaid so much to a point where my parents sought out and got my own TV that had like the built-in VCR and taught me how to use it like as a 3-year-old. That way I could watch Little Mermaid as much as I fucking wanted to. I was potty trained with a pair of Little Mermaid panties. My mom said, if you pee in these, I will throw them away. So I peed every 15 minutes. I'm potty trained because of Little Mermaid. My whole existence is The Little Mermaid. I have a huge tattoo over on my leg. I love mermaids, particularly The Little Mermaid, but anything mermaid related, that's my jam. So tonight, I will be going over Sirens, most notably the French Broad River Siren in North Carolina. Yes. My sources are nationalgeographic.com, wikipedia.org, northcarolinaghosts.com, onlyinyourstate.com, wncmagazine.com, and pinebarreninstitute.com.
Bitch said National Geographic. This is legitimate as
And we will begin. And I'll get into that in a second. But did you know that more than 80% of the ocean has never been mapped, explored, or like seen, touched by human hands, at all?
Yep.
Over 80%.
Scary. Scary how we've not been able to do that.
Okay, but people have been telling me almost all my life that mermaids don't exist. I'm gonna call.
Because how do we know? How do we truly know?
You want me to believe that over 80% hasn't been touched and the mermaids haven't figured out, oh, don't go to these places because that's where them land folk go. No, they figured it out. They're avoiding us. I understand.
I get it.
That's where them land folk go.
I'd avoid us too.
Human men suck.
Well, we're really getting
do.
it tonight, Dougie, huh? We're really getting it tonight.
Yeah.
Hashtag yes all men.
I was about to say the same thing.
Well, we'll just leave
Yeah,
now.
we'll wrap it up. We'll go. We'll just leave
Bye.
everything
With your
set
little
up. It's all
butt.
good.
With your little butt. Okay, now I will say there is a difference between your typical mermaid and your siren. Sirens have notably been more known to be more violent and more cannibalistic in nature. These are the type of sirens. Yeah. These are the type of sirens that you kind of, if you've seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, the sirens that would kind of lure the pirates to their death.
I was going to say, like, that as an example. Is it more like those rather than...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Very enticing, very angelic in voice, but will rip you apart.
I'm down.
I love that.
I'm down, yeah. Like, me and Jess are both like, yes.
I am so horny right now.
You're welcome.
Can we just mention that
Ryan
Amber is
wants to
wearing her
get
Little
torn apart
Mermaid
and Jess
necklace?
wants to watch.
I am wearing my Little Mermaid necklace. That, you know what? That was so, yeah, that's on point. That's very on point for me. I didn't even plan that.
I thought you planned that. What?
I did not. I just threw it on this morning because it went well with this shirt. According to Greek mythology, sirens are dangerous creatures known to lure sailors to their islands by using their voices and music to cause them to shipwreck. Once in the company of a siren, it is believed anyone can fall into their enchantment and ultimately their death, as it is believed that sirens are cannibalistic in nature. That part I already said. Sirens in earlier Greek art were at first depicted to almost kind of look bird-like. Like they had like scaly looking like little feet, but they had more of a bird essence to them. But then a few centuries later, around the 7th century, that's when they were presented as your more, half woman, half fish that you're most used to looking like or looking at. Leonardo da Vinci is quoted in one of his notebooks talking about sirens, saying, "The siren sings so sweetly that she lulls mariners to sleep. Then she climbs upon the ships and kills the sleeping mariners." Now, oceanic sirens are one thing. I'm not going into that because I wanted to keep it kind of local. I am going to talk about a supposed river siren in North Carolina in the French Broad River. This siren, well, this river, it connects from like Transylvania County in North Carolina, kind of almost near the Asheville area, and goes into Tennessee. It's believed to be one of the oldest rivers in the world, and of course it's like kind of tied into the whole like Appalachian Mountain, you know. There's all kinds of stories of like weird, creaky things just happening all together. I didn't want to go into all that. Let's see. It's 219 miles long. What it does is it connects from North Carolina, goes into the Tennessee River, and then of course the Tennessee River merges into the Mississippi River. So there's a lot of waterway connections. The word on the street is that the French Broad River does have a river siren. It was first mentioned back in 1845.
Wow.
But kind of reprised in 1896. Just to be a little bit more understandable. Because when it was first talked about in 1845, it was in like this 64-line long poem that I didn't even get into. So when it was reprised in 1896, it was made to where like people could just understand the tale more. Now, oh, and it was reprised by Charles Montgomery Skinner in his telling myths and legends of our own land.
Why is that name familiar?
I have no idea. I thought it was familiar too.
Is he affiliated with Greenville at all?
Don't know.
I'm going to Google it. Go on.
Absolutely Google it. Now, I will be honest. I couldn't find anything in terms of a solid proof, you know, that this thing is real. But what I do have, I have like kind of like a small short story that I got from one of the websites that kind of gives you like, kind of sets you the scene of how it would go. And then I do have someone's recorded encounter. Of course, I mean, at the time they didn't have any like access to phones or anything like that. So, I mean, no proof in that nature. So, which according to kind of Jess's theory is when you're in the moment like that and something happens, I'm more likely to believe you. So this is what I'm going to say is the little short story to set the mood. Nowadays, it seems like Appalachian Trail is as crowded as a busy city street, with noisy novice hikers clad head to toe in the latest, most expensive gear, armed with GPS devices, and constantly talking on their cell phones. With the hills becoming so crowded, a man who wants to get out alone in the wilderness has farther and further to go. Such a man might decide to head out of his town and just follow the course of the nearby wandering river. If he started out from Asheville, his course would naturally be along the French Broad, whose wide banks skirt the city. Taking a light pack and a few days' worth of food, he could just set along the course of the river, pausing frequently to watch the water rolling over its rocks, and just enjoying the peacefulness and quiet to be found on its banks. But on the first night, after he pitches his tent and settles down in his sleeping bag, he may find himself tossing and turning and troubled by strange dreams. A beautiful, dark-haired, dark-eyed woman walks in and out of restlessness of his mind all night. And the whole night, through the dreams, he's thinking of nothing but her. He can never see her clearly, as she always seems like she's a great distance away. He is woken before dawn by the sound of what he thinks is singing. But soon the sound vanishes as he waits for his tent. Light comes. While he waits in his tent, light comes. When the dawn comes, he cooks his breakfast, packs his tent, and makes his way further and further down the river, moving even more slowly than he did the day before. Still feeling groggy and dazed. He doesn't get as far down as the river as he thinks he will, and when the evening comes, he's glad to pitch his tent and lay down wrapped up in his sleeping bag. There, he expects to sleep. He expects for sleep to come easy with the long, exhausting day and night that he's had. But again, his dreams are troubled by the vision of the dark-haired woman. Again, he awakes to the sound of singing, but this time the voice comes at midnight, and the young man steps out of his tent to stand by the bank of the river in the darkness, and the sound persists. A subtle, beautiful singing full of rich melancholy and precious longing. Enchanted, he lays down by the river, and with the sound in his mind exhausted, his body gives, and he drifts off to sleep. When he wakes on the hard rocks, he well past down where his camp is, he can remember from his dreams that the woman was there again and that she seemed much closer this time. On the third day, he walks even more slowly than the last, and when he gets to a certain bend in the river where the water collects in a deep pool, he finds himself unwilling to move from the spot. He pitches his tent well before dusk and sits by the river to wait. As twilight descends into light, the young man doesn't go inside of his tent, but still sits by the river, staring into the deep waters of the pool. As night comes onto its own, the young man hears the sweet singing once again, more indescribably beautiful than any voice he's ever heard. And as the voice grows louder, it seems to be coming from the dark pool of water by his feet. And as he looks into the pool, he seems to see the form of a beautiful dark-haired woman rising out of the water towards him. She is naked and more perfect than he ever could have imagined. The smooth curves of her body seeming to repeat the slow, smooth curves of the river. And he knows that she's singing to just him. Unable to resist, the young man reaches into the water to touch the woman, but as her hands wrap around his, it's not warm flesh that he feels, but cold, rough, slimy scales and claws that dig painfully into his arm before he can even pull away. And before he even has the chance to scream, the cold grip pulls him into the dark water, and he disappears below the surface into his doom, never to be seen again.
Wow.
Does she still sound sexy, boys?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I want to be her or her or both.
Both. Both. And then reference back to our clone episode. Yourself. That's petition as well for Jar to start like an audiobook series. That was fantastic. That was brilliant.
I thought that between all the descriptions that I saw when I saw that little short story, I thought it was well written.
Very, yeah.
2, it just sounds like the whole vibe that you would get from a siren. Like,
yeah.
It's the most, and that's the whole theory behind them, is that they have very, very enchanting voices. What is wrong with my camera?
The story was very hypnotizing. I was just sitting here like, oh, is there one behind me? Oh, God.
Yeah, very. There was moments throughout that where I was just deep in that. That was.
I thought I was about to get sirened.
Well, I would have looked over my shoulder, but I'm very well secure and aware that I'm actually on land and nowhere near a body of water, so I'm good. This darkness behind me is all good.
That dude kept talking about pitching tents. I'm like, God, I mean, me too, dude. You're not special. I got a boner too.
And
what up?
And see, and that's the whole thing, is that it's supposed to be like a slow seduction, like, of the siren. Like, the siren takes its time, it seduces you, and it may take the course of a couple days. It may be right there and sudden, depending on how you react to her. But
I'm a goner in 10
Why are you
minutes.
taking her time? Girl, take your panties off.
Yeah, I'm a goner in 10 minutes.
She's gonna
Be gone in 5 minutes.
and she's going to
Yeah, I'm
you
gone.
up.
You start singing to
Girl,
me,
take
I'm
them panties
there
off.
like, yeah, go on, let's go.
I'm sorry. I just read Abdi's message. Anyway,
I saw it too.
I think I could be a siren, and I think I would really enjoy it.
I kind of think I would too.
Strangely, I can agree with that you would make a good one. Terrifying for definite. But yeah.
I mean, I definitely have moments with Jess where I'm very horny and scared at the same time. So I get it.
Same.
Okay. The last little bit that I have about sirens, I'm sorry that it's, so short, but again, there wasn't a whole lot of concrete evidence that I saw, but I did see this one sighting reporting, and tell me if it doesn't sound a lot like what the I just read to you with that short story.
Okay.
This guy is wanting to be referred to as Guard. He did not give his last name. This sighting was reported in 2019, but according to him, didn't occur until like summer of 2011.
Right.
He says, I was 15 at the time. I lied to my mom and snuck out with my girlfriend at the time to go camping by the river. We get to a remote location along the river near a bend and set up camp.
Get that flick going on.
It was me just trying to gracefully move my paper. Later in the night, maybe 3 a.m., I get up to pee. I go outside, and as I do, I see a man on the other side of the river. He's either naked or has briefs on, but I can't tell, and he's just standing there. I thought he was looking at our tent, but he was looking down at the water. He just started walking out into the river. It's very wide and very deep at this place. He's walking out, looking down at the river, and when it gets about groin high, he just dives under the water. I waited and waited, thinking maybe he might be a diver of some sorts. Minutes pass, and there are no bubbles. No resurface, just nothing. I, very scared, walked back to my tent, and I've had a recurring nightmare since about wading down into the water and looking down and seeing not my reflection, but the silhouette of a woman. As of this last year, which he was saying 2018, I went to a therapist to get help for it, and I was diagnosed with PTSD and put on medications. I can sleep now, but I don't dream anymore, and I still suffer from crippling, I hope I say this right, thalassophobia.
Don't ask me
And
for help.
thalassophobia is the fear of deep, dark water. Yep. I was actually kind of hoping that you would know what it was when I said it.
Not
And
by
tell
name,
me if I was pronouncing
but
it
that's
right.
me as
Yeah. And that is, yeah.
Wow.
That's my take on the French River Siren of in North Carolina.
I want to go find her.
She's in the French Broad River somewhere. I would be a little scared.
Jess just be
so
like, I
many
want to take
questions.
her on.
How old is she? Can
Don't-
she die? How can she die?
Don't
What
they
does
only
she
go
eat?
after men?
I don't think she
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, like Douglas just said, don't they
I
just go
thought,
after men?
like, from all the, like,
Did I
apart
say
from
that I
movies
wanted
and
to be
whatnot.
her meal? I said I wanted to go find her.
Yeah,
I'll just
but
go look.
she don't.
I just
thought
wanna
she'd
talk
only
to
show
her.
herself to men.
Yeah.
Like,
See,
she's
see,
prey
she
on-
doesn't want to
prey
talk
on
to
men.
you, baby.
Oh, she will.
Tell you what.
I'm sure she'd be happy to know she's got more than a couple of fans.
Oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. Take me under.
Well,
River Siren, if you're listening,
Dougie, when we go over there, we can go looking for
keep
her.
up the good work.
No,
Please.
you and I
Fine
will
as
be the
hell.
bait, Ryan.
Yeah,
And you're doing the Lord's work.
Baby.
They will. We'll be the bait. They'll be there with the cameras. Like, yeah, go and get him.
The only thing that I kind of wish that I could have found and I didn't was any type of theory as to why or how she got in the river.
Is
But
the river?
none of that came up.
Do we know how deep it is? This is also a question that Dougie posed on my episode, and I was like, no, but
I did not get that information.
I would
but
think
I
it
did get
would-
how long it was. I mean, I imagine it's pretty deep,
yeah.
considering how wide it is, too.
I don't know about a river siren. I don't know. It seems like that bitch would be mad grimy. Like, that seems kind of dirty.
I mean,
She probably needs a bath.
Ironically.
You want to give
I'm
everybody.
she's beautiful.
baths.
She knows how to take care of herself with what she's got.
A river siren, I mean, I could see like an ocean siren, like being, but like a river siren. I just think about the rivers around here, and they're all brown and murky, and it's like, girl, stay down there. Like,
Yeah, but I'm going way too depth with detail here. But the thing is, if she's like the short story described, if she's slimy, that's good. That's a natural repellent to dirt anyway. For
True.
It's how fish are always so clean, as it were.
I want to know more about ocean sirens. Them's the I want to.
Yeah, and the only reason why I tried to stay away from ocean sirens, one, that's a lot of information. Two, I wanted to keep it kind of local to us. So
Yeah, we are.
I let it go.
We are keeping it local.
I have actually seen some photos of supposed mermaids found.
Dougie?
I thought you were gonna say you had seen.
I thought he was about to say
No.
I have seen it.
I haven't. No,
Did you see how me and Jess both paused?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been enticed or seen anything relating to a siren, but I've seen photos of supposed mermaids, and yeah, it's kind of hard to decide what it was, but it looked very mermaidish, and that's more than one. There's numerous.
I heard
I will never be convinced that they are not real and that they're not somewhere.
Well, haven't
That's
you heard
just
I guess it's an origin theory that what happened was, a bunch of sailors or whoever it was were out on the water and they were dehydrated and they were hungry and they were tired and they saw like the seals or something on a rock, and they were kind of hallucinating and thought that they were half woman, half animal.
Yeah.
And thus the thing of mermaids was born. I don't know the legitimacy of that, but I've always heard that.
No, I don't believe that. I think they're out there. I think they know that we know that they're out there, and they are doing their damnedest to hide. And I don't
being
blame
hungry
them.
and seeing a seal and being like, damn, I want to like,
Oh, baby, give me some flipper.
food is like the first thing on your mind. You're like, damn, that seal looking kind of good though, but like, I don't want to eat it. I want to it.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Jard, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Wow. Oh dear. Oh wow.
Man, I haven't drank water in 13 days, but I sure would that seal. That seal is beautiful.
Oh, that seal will be looking
Look at
thick.
that on that seal.
More cushion for the pushing.
She'd be looking thick.
We have just gone into different territory.
We really have. We
This
really
is
have.
a new level.
Yeah.
If someone
I don't
were
know if I
just
like
tuning
it
in
here.
at that part, they'd be like,
I don't want to be
Yeah.
here.
Whereas you rewind 20 minutes, you'll be really in depth into that short story. But then right here, right now, they'll be like, "The am I listening to?" To be fair, we were asking that the same thing as well.
I'll have to look up that origin theory again to get more details. I just cannot imagine that someone is like knocking on death's door essentially in terms of their kind of like id needs, and then they see a seal and they're like, I'd smash. Anyway.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
But yeah, nope. That concludes my presentation.
Nah,
I just love mermaids. It's always fascinated me. Yeah.
No, that's good.
It's my shit. It is my shit.
Well, you really did keep it short and sweet, which, for our listeners, in case you guys were not aware, we are recording 2 episodes tonight.
Wow.
We are
Back to back.
We're ambitious. We've got this one right here, and then we are about to jump into our monthly bonus episode.
So if you
want to hear that, become a patron on our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna slap. I'm gonna wear the same shirt I'm wearing right now. Jess is gonna have a wardrobe change.
Yeah.
I just don't care that much. At least about my appearance.
There is some symbolism in my changing clothes, so it's not completely vanity driven.
But if you're
I
wardrobe
probably do
changing, I think
anyway.
I might have to as well. Like, I'll just change my shirt and I'm done.
I'll explain it in the bonus episode. It's just I woke up today and I saw something on Facebook and I was like, wow, that was that long ago. Oh, I should celebrate that.
I'm kind of scared as to what you've got now.
If you guys want to find out what I'm changing into, you'll have to become a patron on our Patreon.
Yup.
If you want to see what I'm changing into,
What if I just
subscribe
come
to our
back
OnlyFans.
naked?
Like what?
Well, I didn't think
Surprise, guys!
I didn't think we were recording video.
No, I didn't think we were
bonus.
either. It's like they're on about wardrobe changing, and I'm sat here like, hang on a minute.
Oh, we're not?
I don't think we. Well, I'll give it a bash, but
It's gonna make it bloody hard for Ryan.
I like
Well,
a challenge.
Ryan does have 9 days to edit it, so...
Thank you. Yes, Ryan's doing
Well-
nothing else. Ryan, all the yes.
Let's see my
Well, are you?
No.
Okay.
I've lost my own valid point.
It would be different if we were recording this the weekend before it had to come out, but this... No.
Look at Sadie's legs.
You just see her legs at the bottom of the screen. Just
Her little chicken legs.
We call them giant rabbit legs, because she be kicking people. Are we still recording? We're still recording.
Yes.
Yes.
Probably
We should probably close this
that.
one out and wrap it out.
Okay. So
See you next
we will
week.
see you next week, guys.
See ya.
Bye.